Welcome to the first episode of the Debate Lounge. Jay Sanders, you want to introduce yourself, the newest member here on Sports Unfolded? You might have seen him on TikTok.
You definitely have. We're excited to be a part of Sports Unfolded now, and yeah.
Eli is currently MIA. He is currently at a basketball game, high school basketball game.
Yep.
All right, let's cut the chase. Let's get right into some action. We have got a very heated, we assumed could possibly be, debate here. Sunday, the Bills and the Chiefs, a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. I'll give the floor to Taylor first. I know.
Okay. Before we start, let's everyone say our picks for this game, just real quick.
Well, that's kind of the process. I want you to explain.
Jay.
I want you
You
to
want me to say
elaborate.
my pick first?
Yeah. What's your pick, Jay?
Okay, I'm going Chiefs
Okay, give me a reason.
because
You can't just say Mahomes. Give me
no,
an
it's not
actual
because
reason.
of Mahomes. Okay, so we saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a full participant in practice this week. Okay, also Bills. They're just like Josh. I don't think Josh Allen can compete with Patrick Mahomes at this level.
Playoffs?
Playoff Patrick Mahomes is different than playoff.
7-0. He's 7-0 in the playoffs
Okay,
when not
you know-
playing a
you
quarterback named Tom Brady.
You know, I'm gonna wait. Just
I'm throwing out statistics.
Okay, you know what? What's your reason for the Chiefs winning?
All right, I have multiple, okay? By the way, I think this is the true AFC Championship. So if the Bills somehow were to win this game, which I don't find rationally possible,
Joe Burr.
I think they go to the Super Bowl.
Joe Burr can take
I
it.
think
I love
Chiefs
Joe
will
Burr,
do
but
that.
they're a piece or two away. We might talk about that later. But Patrick Mahomes, this is considered a down year. By the media, this is a down year for Patrick Mahomes. Yet he has 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and Josh Allen has 36 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. He has one more touchdown, 2 less picks than Josh Allen. Yet people say this is Mahomes' down year, and this is one of the best Josh Allen years. He has a 98.5 rating. That's 7 higher than Josh Allen, and he's completing 3% more of his passes than Josh Allen. And if I'm being honest, I don't know what the Bills do better than the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs have the better O-line. Creed Humphrey is a rookie. Might be the best football center in football. They got Orlando Brown, the left tackle. They traded him for a first-rounder. He made the Pro Bowl. The Chiefs have their O-line. Last year, the issue in the playoffs against Tampa Bay was their O-line. They've rebuilt that. And their defense, since Week 8, since getting Frank Clark and Chris Jones back, they're allowing 16.4 points per game. The Bills are allowing 17.4.
Okay.
We also do see one of their linebackers getting arrested today, though.
That could take a hit, but you know what? Not worried about it.
Okay, so you want to hear this? So all year, these are numbers all year. So I just want to clarify. I have Grizzly Bear Allen, Josh Allen going in, taking down the mighty Chiefs this week in Arrowhead, a lot like they did in Week 4.
Okay.
But so anyway, back to the point.
Week 5.
Week 5. My bad. Back to the point. I think, so if we're looking at the numbers, like you said looking at statistics, okay?
Yeah.
Chiefs offense all year, second. If you take all the numbers, combine them,
Okay.
second best offense.
And it's a down year.
Okay, doesn't matter.
It
Doesn't
is.
matter. If it's a down year, it's a down year for any team.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so Bills, fourth best offense all
Okay.
year. Okay, you know you can't. That's not significant. Okay, even though the Bills have had really rough games,
Yep.
they're still fourth. They're still fourth in offensive rating. Okay. Now, if you look at the defensive ratings, like combine all defensive ratings, okay. Even since that Chiefs surge past, what was it, Week 8?
I
That
believe so.
defensive surge they had, the Chiefs still outperform, or not the Chiefs, sorry, let me rephrase that. The Bills still outperform the Chiefs in every statistical category.
Well, yeah, because when
All of them.
your team isn't healthy, when Juan Thornhill, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, all these guys are missing games, L'Jarius Sneed due to COVID, and you're giving up, what was it, like in the 30s to the Chargers, like somewhere in the 40s to Baltimore, like 30 to Cleveland, because your defense isn't healthy. Of course, statistically over the course of a season, your defensive rating isn't going to be as high. But we can see it with a healthy Chiefs defense that we've seen for the past 2 years. They're one of the best defenses when they are healthy and when it's playoff time.
Okay.
And we're seeing that right now.
Okay. Well, you can say that, but the thing is that the Bills' passing defense can 100% shut down the Chiefs' passing game. That's
Okay,
exactly
I
what
think
it
the
is.
X
but when
factor-
you have
The X
Tyreek-
factor is the passing defense.
X factor is no Tre'Davious White.
No Tre'Davious White. They've been fine. Do you see
They
what
have,
they did
but they
to
haven't
the?
played
You see?
Kansas
Did
City.
you see what they did to the Patriots last week? That was playoff. Game.
Okay, but that's
Oh,
also
he's a rookie.
the
Rookie
Patriots
Mac
also
Jones.
the Patriots also don't have they have Patrick Mahomes. No, Patriots don't have. The Chiefs have a better quarterback. The Patriots have a quarterback that's in their rookie year. Chiefs have Tyreek Hill, one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Who do the Patriots have?
And
The
they
Patriots
have
have a better defense.
Chiefs
and they
also
put up
have-
47.
That's
one, if not the best tight end in the league right now. With
Okay.
Travis Kelce.
And they played Week 5, and they absolutely creamed.
Okay, but
Chiefs.
playoff Patrick's a different Patrick.
It's true. I mean,
He's 7-0 against
Chiefs
all
had
other
it-
teams.
we know the tale too. I mean, listen, teams haven't been themselves at least 1 week this year, and
Yeah,
it just ended up that it was more than 1 week for Kansas City until they got their roll. Like Green Bay, they lost 38-3 to the Saints. Now look at that.
Okay,
you know?
okay. All I'm saying is you also add in the mental effect that this is the exact same Bills team as
Wait.
last year, okay?
The
And
digs,
they lost.
The digs
They
staring
lost.
at the Chiefs celebrating.
Okay, yeah, that. Okay. The Bills want revenge. They want to go to that AFC Championship game. They want, obviously, everyone wants to go to the Super Bowl. But this is different for them. They want revenge in the exact same setting as they had last year in the AFC Championship game. They want revenge. They're out for blood. And this is personal for them. For the Chiefs, it's just another divisional round. For the Bills, this is personal. They want blood. And they have been playing their best football over the past however many stretch of games. The Bills are peaking, and so are the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I'd say, are peaking. I'd say they're kind of at the end of their peak. They're not. I'd say they right now are a little bit worse than they were. Wouldn't you agree? You think that the Chiefs aren't as good as they were towards the later ends of the year, like right now?
Well, you know, they had that stretch from like week 8 to like week 15 where they were unstoppable, like the Chiefs we know.
Yeah.
But you know, they had a couple rough games. But after seeing that wild card game against the Steelers where they scored 6 straight touchdown drives,
Okay, well the Steelers are frauds and shouldn't be in the playoffs. That's a joke that they even played. The
It's
Steelers.
impressive though.
It's impressive.
It is.
Like-
It
just like
is.
I'll give kudos to Josh Allen. He scored 7 straight touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, so did Mahomes. So I mean, you can't give or take anything out of that wild card game for these teams. They both did what they were supposed to do.
And that's
and
true.
beyond.
That's true. But I'm just saying, when Buffalo's playing their best football like they are right now, no one can beat them. And you can't tell me whenever Buffalo's
I
playing their best
disagree.
football, I don't think anyone.
You don't
can
think
beat them.
anyone can beat
You don't
them?
think
No,
Aaron?
I don't think
you don't
anyone can
think
beat Buffalo
Aaron
when they're
Rodgers
rolling.
this year can beat
No.
the Bills.
No, oh yeah, they can beat the Bills, but if the Bills play,
You
their
can
best
say that
game-
about any team. I mean, if the Chiefs' offense is up to Patrick Mahomes' playoff era par, no one comes close except Tom Brady. I can say the same thing about Kansas City.
that's not particularly true.
It is true.
That's not true because
No
think about
team's
this.
come close to beating Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs besides Tom Brady, who's beaten him twice.
Okay, yeah, and things change. Things. I mean, I know that's just like a vague statement, but like you can't tell me that Patrick Mahomes over the course of his career is going to just literally never lose to anyone but Tom Brady.
I mean, I can't say that, but I mean, I don't want to relate this to the court of law, but innocent until proven guilty, and that's kind of in a sense the same thing here.
I think what's going to
Undefeated
happen.
until proven not.
I mean, I think this is just what I think what's going to come out and happen. There's two things that can happen. Okay.
Listen, okay, you were talking about the mental aspect, the revenge game.
I'm not.
I
talking
think the
about-
Bills got their revenge from the AFC Championship in Week 5. And now the Chiefs have this same scenario, and they want revenge from this year's Week 5.
Mm-mm.
It's a double revenge
So
standard.
I'm not talking about mental. Like I'm talking about the actual game, like what's going to play out.
Okay.
There's two things that can happen here. Okay. I think that no Tre'Davious White could play a big factor. Tyreek Hill could have a big game. I think that's one thing that could happen. And I think that in that case the Chiefs win. But also, I think that if the Bills come out and they play some good defense to start the game, loosen up Grizzly Bear Josh, then I truly believe that they'll come out and win this game.
One thing I noticed in the Week 5 match, I believe it was matchup, I believe there was no Chris Jones and maybe no Frank Clark. They got no pressure. I don't know if they had a single sack that game on Josh Allen. He's not going to be as comfortable.
And Josh Allen threw for 315, 3 touchdowns, just flamed their secondary.
Yeah, my point. He had no pressure. I mean, we saw last weekend against New England. no pressure, 5 touchdowns,
Yeah.
right? So, Josh Allen in the playoffs, kudos to Josh Allen for his game last week. But what is he now, 3-2 in the playoffs as a starter? That's not bad. But he has had some very rough games. His second year, I know it's a different Josh Allen now, but he made a lot of mistakes his first playoff game. In last year's AFC Championship game against Kansas City, he was not. Mahomes was 4 notches above him.
Okay, yeah, but a whole year's happened, Strong. A
Yes.
whole year's happened. The Chiefs are. I'd say the Chiefs are a lot different than they were last year. I mean,
don't.
I not completely different. They have a better offensive line. I think they have a worse.
They have a better offensive line, and
I think they have a worse secondary this year than they did last year.
lose anybody.
They
They got the same
They
roster.
have the same people.
Well, then why statistically is their secondary done worse this year than it has last year?
Because they had no pass rush weeks 1 through 7.
Chris Jones was out.
I
So
mean,
then-
I'm
then
sorry.
what did they-
I don't say if
What
you're,
did they do against the Bengals?
if you're Jalen Ramsey, you can't cover for 7 seconds. It's not possible. In this league, with this amount of wide receiver talent, you cannot cover, no matter how good of a corner you are, for, if your pass rush doesn't get there in 7 seconds, someone's going to come open.
Okay, but let's look at when was it? Week 17? Week 17 they played the Bengals. Okay? The Bengals they absolutely torched them. Joe Burrow.
Jamar Chase burned number 35 all game.
Yeah.
I'll give
so
him that.
yeah. So the Bengals absolutely flamed it. And that wasn't because they weren't getting
The
pressure.
Chiefs,
They were.
the Chiefs should have made an in-game adjustment and put L'Jarius Sneed on Jamar Chase, but
I truly believe in this Bills secondary, and I really think that if they can make some big stops to start the game especially, that they're going to come out, relax the offense, and Josh is going to get firing and tear apart that secondary. I really do, and I think the Grizzly Bear reigns supreme. And I have the Bengals beating the Titans. I think they're going to go back to Buffalo and go to the Super Bowl. That's what I think is going to happen.
I have the exact opposite in the
Because
AFC.
the Bills look really good. They look really good.
We'll see Sunday. All right. Jay, anything to touch?
No, I mean Chiefs all the way. I have Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. I think they're. I mean, yes.
Team
they
can't go 3 years in a row is my
Yes,
theory.
they
Yeah,
can.
they can.
Thomas Edward Brady
Okay,
did it twice.
I don't believe that. I don't think that the Chiefs can do it. I really don't. I think it's so rare that a team goes 3 straight.
I do.
Super
They have the
Bowls.
best head coach in the AFC and the best quarterback in the AFC. That's all it takes.
No.
And
You
yes,
need more
yes.
than that, dude.
Right now, Andy Reid is better than Bill Belichick. In this era of football, he is.
You need more than that. You can't just have a head coach and a quarterback.
No.
And
Well, they do.
And they have the
more than
roster.
that.
They
have.
they have
The
a
offensive
lot-
line's there. The weapons are there. The running game is starting to become there. The defense over the second half of the season's there. Everything's there.
Okay, but the thing is that it is so hard to three-peat because all these teams have seen their game plans, their schemes, and so they're ready for what they're going to throw at them in the playoffs, and so it's going to be difficult for them to come out and beat Buffalo. Is what I'm saying, because I think the matchups favor Buffalo. If you look at it,
I don't know what the Bills do better than the Chiefs. I can't name one thing.
everything on defense. And I think Stephon Diggs is going to have the game of his life.
All right. Only time will tell. Only Sunday will tell. I cannot wait for this game. Let's talk about another game. Cross conference. Bucs Rams.
Oh.
You gonna go first? I know who you got.
Well, I got Brady. You can't bet against Brady.
That's
I don't know why you would bet against Brady in any
Because
playoff game that's not
So
the
listen,
Super Bowl.
that is my mistake. I am betting against Brady, and I'm absolutely probably going to regret it. Okay.
Me as
Yes,
well.
you
But
will.
Matthew
Me as
Stafford has no excuse to lose this game. This is the Rams' game for the taking. The one position I can firmly say that Tampa outdoes the Rams on is the quarterback position. The running backs, Rams, Cam Akers and Sony Michel, those are better than, unless Leonard Fournette comes back, which he might.
If Lenny's
Playoff
back,
Lenny is a
Lenny's
different breed.
back, there's-
Playoff Lenny's a different breed, but I would still take Cam Akers and Sony Michel
I don't
over
think
Leonard Fournette.
Fournette's.
The weapons, the pass catchers, obviously Rams, Cooper Kupp, OBJ, over just Mike Evans and Gronk. Offensive line, no Tristan Wirfs. I'd say the Rams. Front seven, both are absolutely loaded. You can pick or choose.
but
So I might be
Von
going to pick a
Miller,
side on that one.
okay, but You're saying all these matchups.
Yeah, these matchups.
All
and
these,
I know what you're gonna say. I already know exactly
But
what you're
guess
gonna say.
what?
Tom Brady.
No. I'm
No?
not just gonna say Tom Brady because I think
That'd be
you
it.
can't just say that. That's just stupid.
Yes, you
Just
can.
do it.
It's a valid
That's
point.
like that's like
20
saying LeBron. Like that. That's stupid. You can't just say that. But
I mean,
I'm saying that except with more is that Tom Brady has taken teams a lot worse than this Buccaneers team. A lot worse than this Buccaneers team.
2018 Patriots. I don't know how he did
To
it.
a Super Bowl.
Don't know how he did it.
I'm pretty sure one year, I can't remember which year, he took a team that they had Chris Hogan as their number one receiver to the Super Bowl because Edelman was down. He has Evans, he has Gronk, he has, even though Tristan Wirfs down, a good offensive line.
Oh yeah.
He just give Brady 3 seconds and he's going to find someone open or make a throw. And that's been the thing over his whole career. And once you get to the playoffs, he basically is telling the entire offense line, I will give you all Rolls Royces and Mercedes Benz and $1 million if you can block for 3 seconds each play. And they do it, and he fits it in the crease, and they score almost every possession. That's what's going to happen. That especially when it comes down to crunch time. And I don't think Matthew Stafford. I think Matthew Stafford next year. I'd give Matthew Stafford another year or two until I'd say he's ready to go to a Super Bowl. I think yes, they absolutely torched the Cardinals. They flamed the Cardinals. It looked like two different teams. They flamed them.
You also have Cliff Kingsbury, who's one of the worst closing coaches for a season.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's no Bruce Arians or Brady. But listen, I don't want to sit here and argue with you on why I think the Rams are winning because I'm not confident. I have them winning by a point, and I don't know how I feel about it. I just think their roster is more complete. I just think they're less injured, and I think their stars are playing their best football at the right time. I just think the X factor is Matthew Stafford because he only threw 17 passes last Monday, and that was his first playoff win in his career. So in a sense, if he didn't throw a pass, let's just say this: if he didn't throw a pass last Monday, the Rams still probably win.
Okay, so I want you.
So this is really Matthew Stafford's first playoff game. This is his first test.
Yeah.
So.
And so I want you.
That's what I'm excited to see.
What I want you to think about here. The Bucs really they don't have much out on defense. Think about this.
No, they're healthy.
So they're completely healthy on defense. The Bucs, I would say, have the best defensive line in football. Okay. Do y'all disagree? I mean, I'd say that they have top 3 at least in defensive line.
Yeah, the top 3. But
I could sit here and argue Cowboys, but I'm not even going to try that right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But so you've seen all year teams try to run the ball against them, they can't, and so it makes it be very one-dimensional. And so although they don't have the greatest secondary, whenever a team is forced to be one-dimensional, especially in the playoffs, it puts a lot of pressure, especially if that one dimension is passing on the quarterback. And they don't have a quarterback like Patty Mahomes, like Aaron Rodgers, like Tom Brady, like those.
You didn't say Josh Allen.
I was waiting for Josh Allen.
Josh has got to win a Super Bowl first before I can say my boy the Grizzly Bear. But they're going to completely shut down the run. The Cardinals their defensive line got toasted.
That was their philosophy to beat Kansas City. But when I look at it, just look at the matchups. Obviously, we can't predict the game. Who knows? Cooper Kupp could have 0 yards for all I know.
No,
but who is guarding Cooper Kupp?
Sean Murphy Bunting. I mean, who?
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Who is the thing? Okay, the thing is,
and OBJ's coming
who's guarding Cooper Kupp? Okay, whenever Matthew Stafford has to throw 40 times in a game, come back to me if they can beat Brady. I don't think he can outduel Brady. It's going to come
multiple times this year. Obviously, not against Brady.
Okay. Do you think? Okay, answer this. Do you think that Matthew Stafford can outduel Brady in the playoffs? Maybe in regular season.
Well,
maybe.
obviously, not.
Him
We've only
alone.
seen him play one game.
You take account for their weapons.
No.
No,
But,
I don't think so.
But
Brady
when I look at it,
has
the
the
rosters
receivers.
right now.
No,
Rams
Chris Godwin is really.
Yes.
No, Chris Godwin is kind of big, but I mean it's Brady.
So you're gonna have Jalen Ramsey shadowing Mike Evans all game, and then besides that, it's gonna be Brady and your practice squad.
Gronk, check down, slant, over the top Mike Evans try.
Over the top Mike
Check
Evans
down
on Jalen
on
Ramsey.
Slant,
Jalen
curl.
Ramsey clamps Mike Evans.
Yes, I agree.
I've watched it this
And
year.
all I'm gonna say is, mark my words for this: if the Buccaneers win, Gronk's gonna have 100 yards. He's gonna have to.
And he's gonna have probably 2 touchdowns because
He's gonna have to.
Brady's going to funnel Gronk, and
He's gonna have to be the guy.
And Brady has done that a million times.
He's
And
gonna throw it to
and
him.
it's not like this is a new thing. You look back to
Last
whenever
year's
they
Super Bowl, man.
you look back to whenever they look it back to the Patriots days. If this is the exact same scenario, he has one receiver in Gronk. I think that Mike Evans is better than Julian Edelman. I'm not talking about the Randy Moss days. That team was broken. That team was unbelievable.
Wes Walker.
Yeah, but you look, he had Julian Edelman, and used to
Danny
be Wes Welker.
When was Danny Amendola on that
I don't
team?
count him as a football player, but he had Julian Edelman and Gronk for years.
when you do
and you
say
know what
this,
happened? Super Bowl.
when you say that, this actually does seem like a very similar team to the 2018.
Exactly. And the defense, strong
Identical.
strong front, weaker secondary.
Weaker second.
That is exactly.
New England had the best secondary that year. I will say that.
Okay, then you reverse it. I don't think they had a great front that year, did they? They didn't have an incredible defense. It was a mid-tier defense.
They had a pretty good. They had Gilmore in his prime, young J.C. Jackson.
That was recently. I'm
the
talking about like
McCourty brothers.
I'm talking about like 2015.
We talking about the second?
Oh, that year? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
So
about.
you're right.
So I'm just saying, I think you give Matthew Stafford, you give him some more playoff experience. I think he can do this. You're also forgetting that they're playing in Tampa Bay. It's going to be a hostile environment. Matthew Stafford, I don't know if he can outdo Brady. I don't think yet. I don't think he can outdo Brady yet. I think give him if Brady's still alive, give him 2 more years and maybe. Give him not even 2. Maybe next year he can.
If there's anyone,
but I think right now I don't know if he can.
If there's anyone that can do it, it's Sean McVay.
But the thing is, Matthew Stafford down the stretch this season has been terrible.
Yeah,
He's been
he has,
awful.
yes.
And last week, you can't tell me he played a good game because he didn't do anything. It was all the offense line.
He played a.
He was a game manager.
He played an A+ game, but
he was.
it wasn't even. It was like, how do I say that? It's like. It's like he made an A+ on the test without taking half of it.
Exactly, and you've seen over the stretch of the end of this year, probably I'd say last 6 weeks of the year.
Yeah,
Matthew Stafford has been really not good. He's been throwing.
He's thrown too many
250, or like he'll throw for 300 yards,
he's
2
thrown 17
touchdowns, but then he'll throw 2-3.
He's thrown 17 picks on the year, and I can live with that when I know you have the arm talent. Like, I'd rather have a guy with Matthew Stafford with the ceiling up here that throws maybe a few more picks than he should than a guy like a Mac Jones or a Tua who doesn't throw the interceptions but has a ceiling around here.
Okay, but I want you to think about this. In the playoffs, what happens whenever there's an interception? Okay, everyone on the team, especially away, it's completely different than regular season. In the regular season, I'm like, okay, whatever. He can throw picks if he's getting the yards, whatever, because he's taking shots. He's a big arm. I'm like, that's fine, but you come into the playoffs, and you know what happens? You throw an interception, if the momentum flips like that in the playoffs, one play can decide an entire game in the playoffs. And it's not quite like that in the regular season.
It depends on your mentality. I mean,
if they lose the turnover battle to Brady, Brady's going to win every time.
Well,
Brady never
Tom
loses.
Brady.
Yeah, exactly. So if Matthew Stafford gets into situations where he throws picks, they can't win. He has to not turn the ball over, and he has to just play.
Like,
clean,
Aaron
efficient
Rodgers
ball.
played as good of a game as you could have played in the NFC Championship last year against Tom Brady. He had 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, and the 1 pick should have been a holding call in Tampa Bay, and they still lost.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's insane how hard it is to dethrone Brady
Exactly.
in the postseason, but I'm going out on a limb. I like the roster, and I think if anyone can get it done, it's the offensive mastermind, Sean McVay. And I think he's going to be able to play cool with Matthew Stafford and know where his limits are in this situation.
I agree.
I
have Rams winning this
I've
game.
just learned over years and years that you can't, in the playoffs, betting against Brady is like shooting yourself. Like, it is.
It is.
I mean,
I'm going to shoot myself.
I mean, yeah, we also saw Okay. We
Okay,
also
buddy.
saw.
That was
I mean, I'm no Georgia fan, but everybody was saying you don't bet against Nick Saban. But then we saw what happened.
And I do
That
have to
is
say,
true.
this is the year the curses have been lifted. Bengals.
okay.
They lifted their
Joe
curse.
Shiesty.
They lifted their curse.
True.
I mean, we saw Georgia, the Braves. I mean, I guess if you're playing that way, like, this is the year of the curses being lifted.
True.
This is the year the
LeBron
curse
lost
of
in the
Brady.
first round.
This is the year the curse of Brady leaves, I guess. I mean, if any year,
It
this
could
year.
happen.
But I don't know. I just think
Only
if
time
you-
will tell.
if yes, only time will tell. We will see when the game is played.
I mean, if Cam Akers goes Derrick Henry in 2019, that's how the Titans beat the Patriots.
If
Obviously, that's not going to
Cam
happen.
Akers is not Derrick Henry.
Well, obviously.
Well,
Derrick Henry is
Derrick Henry's a road.
Derrick Henry is here. Jonathan Taylor is here, and then everyone else is here.
And Zeke Elliott is here.
And Zeke Elliott is on the floor.
All right.
Yeah,
Wow.
he
Wow.
is WAS.
He's on a private island.
I'm already knowing I'm
Washed.
gonna regret this, but Rams by a point. Let's talk some NBA now. MVP talk.
Okay, I get heated about this, and I swear if any of you have LeBron, I'm throwing hands.
Nope.
Thank you.
No,
you
I am no
don't
Bron.
tell me you have LeBron.
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
No,
we're all
LeBron-
cool here. If
Oh.
Eli were here, this would be a different
This would
story.
be funny.
LeBron
is he averages.
LeBron has what?
Stats.
Oh.
Okay, you're 500.
LeBron has
Yeah.
what? 7 All-Star teammates who can't even get over 500.
Yes, LeBron's the only option on their team.
All right, who's your MVP? Tyler Hero.
Okay, well, we're really talking.
Yeah.
My MVP is actually Omer Yurtseven.
Oh.
Yeah, he's at yeah.
Udonis Haslem.
And Udonis Haslem. They're tied.
Split
Right?
MVP.
But for real though, my MVP is Curry, man.
Curry.
Look at Curry.
Look at Curry, man. Like how are you gonna
He
not say
hasn't-
Curry, man?
I can easily not say Curry because while his team has the second best record in basketball,
Katie's
he's
injury is gonna
had
affect
so
him.
many bust games that Kevin Durant doesn't have, and that's why Kevin Durant's my MVP.
Kevin Durant
Wait, all right,
MCL sprain 6
Let
to
me-
8 weeks.
and you're already seeing the effects. His team is so much worse. They
Yep.
lost to the Cavaliers without him.
Any team without K, I'm not saying
That's my
KD's
point,
I
okay?
think Katie's
The
best
the
player in the
Warriors
league.
without Steph Curry can have a bad game and they can still beat elite teams. If Kevin Durant has a bad game, the Nets are not winning.
Strong. I'm not disagreeing with you. Kevin Durant is the best player in basketball right now.
So is he not the MVP in your eyes?
No,
No,
Why?
because there's a whole half a season left.
because there's a whole
I'm saying right now, who's the MVP? You can't
Curry.
You can't
because
use future-
Curry. It's
Okay,
literally
Curry has
Curry,
become
Why?
slacking.
slacking.
Okay,
You know how many
yes,
points he
he's-
averages still?
Okay,
Less
he's
than
Slacking.
Kevin Durant.
average, but his last
He
like
hasn't
5
been
games.
dropping 50 bombs, but he's been still putting up 25 to 35 every night.
Listen,
Like what?
Warriors-
is that bad? Like
No, it's not
Curry
bad.
put up
All right,
25
let me-
points. Oh my
let me
god.
say this. Even though Kevin Durant leads the league in points, I don't care about that because the MVP has become such a stat-driven award, and that's where the issue with it is. Where would the Warriors be without Steph Curry? They would still be probably
They'd still
top
be a
of the
playoff
West.
team.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
not top
be,
4.
They'd
not
be
top 4.
a
The West
last.
isn't-
They'd be a last year's team.
They would be like, because
They'd be a last
The
year's
West,
Warriors.
the West
They'd
only
be-
has like 5 teams above 500. They would be a 4 or 5 seed right now.
They'd be a 6 or 7.
yeah, they'd be like lower seed. They'd be
No.
like 7 or 8. Because last year Curry was hurt a lot of the year. The year before that, Curry was hurt the entire year, basically.
So was Clay. They had no James
Okay,
Wiseman. Jordan Poole.
They
had
don't
to
have
come.
James Wiseman right now.
No, James Wiseman.
Right
I mean,
now.
he might be back.
He'll be back
now.
for
Yeah,
playoffs.
He was there last
But
year. All right.
definitely-
Yeah.
The Nets without Kevin Durant.
I'm not talking about it. Which
I
team's
don't
better
know if
with?
they were playing. That's what valuable means. It stands for most valuable
Okay.
player. Who's the most valuable asset to their team? You take Kevin Durant away from the Warriors.
You still have
They
Kyrie
are-
Irving who's playing away games and James Harden. It's not like James Harden's
Dude,
going to the
you're acting
club
like
every night.
you're acting like the Nets are trash, but they have 2, I'd say top 15 players in the league.
Kyrie
on
Irving's
their
played
team.
like 4 games this year.
Because he doesn't have or he has like
Because
he doesn't
Kyrie's
have the
an
vaccine.
idiot. He thinks the Earth is flat.
My point
That's
still
why.
stands. He
Like,
still played like 4 games.
okay, so they have Kyrie on road games, and
They
they
have Kyrie on road games who
They have
who's
James Harden.
averaging like 18 on road games or something.
Okay, strong. The argument is not which team is better without their player. Obviously,
kind of is what it-
obviously, it's the Warriors. Or the Warriors are definitely better than the Nets, and Kevin Durant is more valuable to his
And
team
he's the most valuable
than
player.
Curry. But wait, Curry. We're talking about who's going to be the MVP.
Okay, so you're trying to use future reference, something that
No,
we can't
I'm
predict.
talking about right now. Kevin Durant's hurt right now. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks, so he will not win
You're
the
right.
MVP.
You're probably right.
You give me this 2 weeks ago before he was hurt. I think Kevin Durant is the MVP.
Okay, Kevin Durant probably won MVP because of this 6 to 8 weeks he'll be out.
Exactly, and that's why I'm
But
saying
he's
Curry.
still the most valuable player, and
I think he's best player in the league. Kevin Durant's best player in the league. You know who's second best?
listen to this. You want to know who my
No,
MVP,
second-
you want to know who
no,
my
it's not.
MVP
No,
is from last year? You're gonna laugh at this. Chris Paul.
You're an idiot.
No,
You're an idiot.
no, I'm not. No,
You're an
listen.
idiot. Why would you say Chris Paul?
Because listen.
He's the third best player on his team.
No, he's not.
And you said
Where
he's
were the
your
Suns
MVP?
before Chris Paul came there? They were winning like 15 to 20 games a year,
Okay, you can give.
and they were like that for
Okay.
a decade.
You know, okay,
and Chris
you know
Paul comes there. His stats weren't there,
They
but he made
also-
all of his teammates better.
Okay,
His assists
you
were there.
also
he does
have
the ball
DeAndre
over.
Ayton, who's a rookie on the Suns.
Okay, then why didn't they win before Chris Paul came there?
Because they didn't have
they
don't have DeAndre Ayton, who's like
They didn't have Mikal Bridges. They didn't have their team. It wasn't Chris Paul. Chris
It
Paul
was
is
absolutely
out.
Chris
okay,
Paul.
Chris Paul is out in the conference.
Chris Paul
in the
has done this to
conference
multiple franchises. The Thunder.
Chris Paul made a huge impact, but he's not the
Listen.
reason.
I'll give you another example of why Chris Paul is one of the most valuable players in basketball, and he was last year. He goes to Houston, and they're the top seed in the West, and they would have won the finals if he didn't get hurt in Game 5 against the Warriors. They would have made the finals, and they would have beaten the Cavs. He goes to Oklahoma City in an expectation for a rebuilding season. He wins them 48 games, maybe 49. They were a 5 seed, and they took a Houston Rockets team that was 20 times more talented to 7 games. Goes to Phoenix, a team that had won 20 games, goes there, and they make the finals.
Strong.
That's just the value that he brings. I don't care about the stats.
Fantastic, but you want to hear this? You know what it's called. It's not the MIP. It's not called the most impactful player.
Most
If
valuable.
you're talking about most impactful player, Kevin Durant, okay, whatever, you win. But MVP, the most valuable player, the best player in the league for that season over the entire season, Curry, and he's gonna win it. And we're gonna look in a few months, and it'll be
Okay,
Curry.
so what you're saying is what Curry probably there's a good chance he wins MVP, and
Because Kevin
what
Durant
you just
gets
said
hurt
kind
too.
of brings
okay, we
to
could
my
argue
point.
this about my MVP. You want to hear my MVP? Giannis. Okay, third in points per game, averaging 28.6.
See, stats are cute and all, but
Okay, then that's what you're arguing about Kevin Durant.
that's literally the exact opposite.
No,
I
Nah,
Kevin Durant is first.
he was talking about impact. He wasn't talking about stats with KD.
But if you want to, Kevin Durant leads the league in scoring.
I mean, if you want to talk about most impactful player, you take Evan Mobley off the Cavs, and they're
Cavs.
bums. You take Evan Mobley out, they're a bottom 3 team.
I mean, I guess you could say
Don't
John
go
Morant
that
on the
far.
Grizzlies.
Come on.
if you're talking about
No,
most
they won
impactful-
big games without him.
Like what?
Like what against the freaking Celtics?
He was
you
out
can't-
for a big stretch of
look,
games,
you
and they were
can't-
still winning games. Like Dylan Brooks.
It's not Curry's fault that his team's good. Like, you can't say that. Like, it's not his fault that his team's good. Like, if you're talking... The Nets have
Okay.
built a
Superstar team.
3 superstars, everyone else is kind of trash. And,
No.
and you can't do
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
I mean,
That's kind of right. Like,
they're not trash.
Well, obviously they're
they're NBA players. They're amazing at
Well,
basketball.
good, obviously, but yes. I mean, you do have Blake Griffin, who's, I mean...
Blake
I would
Griffin is
argue-
like their
He's ancient,
12th
dude.
man at this
Yeah.
point. He plays like 2
He might get
minutes.
the 12th man award.
Yeah, 12th man.
And you have, I mean, a somewhat young Nicholas Claxton.
Okay.
Georgia boy, hey. Played for Georgia. I mean, it must be good.
I mean,
You
yes,
see what Tom
but-
Crean's just godly coach.
I'm just saying that the MVP is all about stats now, and that's kind of where my issue is.
I think Giannis.
Okay, well
deserves
you
this.
can
Giannis deserves
debate
this year.
the MVP voters and you can debate them, but if we're talking about
I'd love to.
who is the most valuable player, 2 weeks ago Kevin Durant. Before he
They
got
should
hurt.
rename the MVP Statistical Driven Award.
DA.
SDA. The SDA is Steph Curry.
Okay.
The
and then
MVP
you
is
can
Kevin
have your
Durant.
award that's the most impactful player, and like John Morant will win it because if you want to go off of most impact, I agree with Jay. I think John Morant has the biggest impact on his team.
The Grizzlies
Kevin
are
Durant
one of
still has 2 superstars. What is obviously the Grizzlies? They have a solid team, but you take Ja out of the equation, and boom, they're trash. They're bad. The Nets can still win games without KD. They won last night. They won last night against
The Wizards.
the Wizards.
Well, the
Wizards are
Wizards are
solid.
kind of good.
Wizards are solid.
They lost to the Cavs.
The Grizzlies would lose to the Wizards or a team
I don't know
like
if the
that.
Nets will go above 500 in this stretch where Kevin Durant doesn't play.
Good, because then the Heat are the 1 seed. They are the 1 seed right now. The Heat are the 1 seed.
No, the Bulls. will
And
be.
the Heat are the best team in the East.
The Bulls are.
Don't even.
Heat are the best team in the East. They are the 1 seed right now. If you want to say your statistics, and they are number 1. So what's the debate now?
Come playoff time.
We haven't had
Giannis.
Jimmy. Okay, this is separate, but we haven't had Jimmy or Bam for the past 6 weeks, and we have won. We've gone 8-2 over the last 10 games, and
Yeah, because Jimmy Butler gets ejected for yelling at every single ref
Okay,
in a game
well-
of basketball.
well, that happened last night. But Bam just came back. He are the best team in the East, I think. By pretty
Another story
solid
for
right
another
now.
day.
But that's
Completely
different.
disagree.
Anyways.
Completely disagree.
Guys, Giannis is my MVP, and it's because.
I'm not even gonna debate that because there's no way.
How is there no way?
Okay,
Just
look,
tell. I want to hear why there's no way.
Look, Giannis, I think that he's top 3 player in the league. There's
Well, he is.
KD number 1, Curry number 2. Curry, I think they're tied for second. I think Curry and Giannis are tied. They're completely different players, but you can't judge them on the same.
I mean, yeah.
They're completely. I think KD and then Curry and Giannis tied for second. Whatever. I think, but Giannis, he this year, not in the past years. This year he's kind of been he'll have a game where he has 40 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, but then he'll have a game where it's he puts up 15 points and 6 rebounds because he decides to not show up, and just because I don't know, because he's resting or whatever it is. But Giannis this year, I don't see that he's MVP this year.
I'd love for them to have an MIP. I'm gonna start a petition.
Most improved.
I mean they do have most improved.
Okay.
That's most
Find
improved.
another.
I'm so confused.
Find another acronym for it. Some way to say most impactful player.
Ja Morant would win it.
John Morant.
Not your boy KD.
He would.
Because KD's the best player in the league right now, but he's.
Maybe
Well,
they'd
I'm
give the
telling
job because he needs something on his trophy shelf. Kevin Durant already has a few.
No, just for a second.
Yeah,
Can we talk about? Do we think that? Just real quick, do we think LeBron is a top 5 player in the league?
Nope.
Yes.
Not even. No.
Thank you.
No.
And, okay.
No.
And I've
I'm
had
sorry,
this discussion
he's
with so
stat
many
padding.
He's
people.
top 5.
He's not.
I'm sorry, but I've had this discussion with so many people,
I can name
and
5
you are
players.
one of the 3 people that I've talked to that
And
actually
everybody's
think
going
he's
to
not.
everybody's going
Thank
to
you.
flame me for this, but he's
No,
not.
I agree with you because LeBron is a stat pattern that
He
plays
can't-
with no one.
He
He's
cannot
playing
get
with
his team above 500 with 7 recent All-Stars. Used to be All-Stars.
Okay, listen.
And you can argue that they're washed.
I
But he
think-
cannot get his team above 500.
No, I
and he's
agree.
averaging 30
I
points.
don't believe in the Lakers. I don't believe in LeBron this year. I don't believe in any of that. But I can't name 5 players. But I mean,
I can. You want me to name them? Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Giannis, arguably John Morant this year.
no.
Yes, John Morant's
arguably
better.
John Morant.
I'm sorry.
And I will think of a 5th, and
I
I will
don't think
come
John
up with
Morant's
it.
a
in
better
second.
player than LeBron James. You cannot.
Have
say
you
that.
seen Ja this year?
Yes.
At all? He is. He's not carrying the Grizzlies, but he is put
He
the
is
Grizzlies.
carrying the Grizzlies.
I mean, kind of.
they're the 3 seed right now.
I know that's what I'm
They're
saying.
the 3 seed.
Ja-
They're only 2 games
Ja
back.
and Steven. I guess Steven.
Steven Adams, Dylan Brooks.
Big boy Stevens, baby.
Yeah, I mean he kind of is carrying the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies are a top seed in their division, their
They're
conference. Yeah,
I think LeBron, bottom of the top 10 players in the league. I think that's what he is because LeBron he's a completely different player than he used to be. It used to be LeBron would just
He's chasing Kareem.
Yes, and so what's happening now is LeBron's just stat padding and his team's getting blown. I saw a game, I think the Lakers lost by 30, but Lebron had 30 points. So, LeBron
Yeah, I know.
had another
so I'm saying
30
sports
points,
all
10
about
rebounds,
stats now.
6 assists.
It's all
game.
about the participation trophies and stats.
Yeah, but LeBron's definitely.
And
I
highlights.
think Joel's better than him. I think Trey's better than him.
I think Trae Young could be better than LeBron, but
I
he's
think
not.
Joel
Embiid-
Jokic. What are we talking about? Jokic is better than him.
Jokic is better than LeBron. Joel Embiid right now is better than LeBron.
I think
After
DeMar
that
DeRozan
performance
right
last night, DeMar DeRozan.
I think DeMar DeRozan.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah, I think LeBron falls somewhere between 8 and 10.
I think he's 11.
It might be true too. I think that I think if you actually you tell me that Russ isn't washed and Anthony Davis is actually playing and not hurt every 5 minutes and going out every 5 minutes. I think you put those two in actual point producers. LeBron's gonna average. Because we're talking about stats for the MVP here, if we're talking about stats for players, he's gonna average like 21 points, which is that's great, but that's not top 10.
And he is not the greatest of all time.
No,
No.
MJ is the best.
That's
player
obviously
ever.
another debate for another day, and if anyone wants to argue with that,
cop on this right now.
Yes.
got a spot for you.
Yep. Anyone that thinks LeBron is the GOAT, you can sit right here.
Actually, you can probably sit here, and I would want to throw hands with you, so I would probably sit on one of these couches.
I'll give you a cookie as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. Chiefs are absolutely going to destroy.
Fraud, Allen.
Yes.
Grizzly Bear!
No!
Chiefs on top by 10.
Grizzly
Rams
Bear.
by 1. I don't know why I'm betting against Tom Brady.
Me
See you
neither.
next week. Thanks for listening.
Joe
Peace.
Shiesty to the Super Bowl.
Joe Burr, Grizzly Bear, show up this week, boys. I
Go
want to see y'all
Cowboys.
play in the championship.
Screw the
All right, there was a
Cowboys.
stop somewhere in there.
All right.
All right, I am talking
Hungry.
too much makes me hungry.
Yeah, dude, I'm hungry.
All right, we need to get all this stuff back in my room, probably.
Okay. Where we want to
Honestly, can I just leave this in here?
Where we want... Yeah, probably.